Welcome to Nasdaq TradeTalks, where we meet with the top thought leaders and strategists in emerging technologies, digital assets, regulatory landscape, and capital markets. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, and joining me this afternoon, we have Shaikh, co-founder and CEO of Aptos Labs, and Roger Bayston, head of digital assets at Franklin Templeton. We're here to discuss the first and only U.S. registered fund to use public blockchains as its primary platform for the processing and recording of its transactions and share ownership. It is great to have the both of you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks. Roger, this sounds pretty significant to me. Explain to the audience what this means by leveraging a public blockchain for a fund.
Yeah, Franklin Templeton has been working for a number of years in bringing kind of securities-related transactions and opportunities and investment products into public blockchain environments. We think public blockchain environment is an upgrade from the traditional monolithic centralized database systems that we have used for transfer agency activities. And we're super proud to announce today that we are on Aptos, which is we think is just an excellent platform to provide increased utility, quite frankly, for some of these securities related activities. Benji, which we brought to the Aptos environment, is just a pure plain vanilla money fund construct. But boy, by using public blockchains like Aptos specifically, we think we can uncover new functionality for something that's a pretty tried and true part of the overall financial ecosystem.
Yeah, and Mo, Aptos, of course, is no stranger to Trade Talks. Explain to us what this means by Franklin Templeton leveraging Aptos and what that means going forward.
Yeah, it's a great point. For Aptos, we're focused on the globally connected economy, and going back to Roger's point, you need to have the backbone of an economy available to the globe. And by having a product like Benji, new forms of money and economic value now available on a network, to Roger's point, that is incredibly fast and available across the globe, that makes it very accessible. And so that is something that Aptos continues to be focused on, and together with having Franklin Templeton products, really brings this vision to life in a powerful way.
Yeah. And Roger, how does this fit into the overall digital asset strategy over at Franklin Templeton and ideas for, future growth?
Well, we just started in an R&D space activity many years ago. We knew that if we started thinking about applying these technologies to money fund constructs, money funds have been in the transactional economy for a long period of time. Old technology like writing checks or newer technology like using debit cards attached to money funds have meant that money funds have been in the transactional economy for a long period of time. The Federal Reserve considers money funds as part of M2 when they're thinking about money supply. This just anchors about how important money funds have been across the globe. Well, in these new great rails like Aptos has built, this increases the functionality and the utility of something that's already been existing in the transactional economy and brings it to a place where we think the global economy will continue to migrate, where the velocity of money and the less friction inside of the movement of money begins to play out across the global ecosystem, allowing, quite frankly, all sorts of new users to be able to use these same very like tried and true products and strategies like money funds. So we're really excited about that future space and why Aptos is an excellent partner and chain to be working with in this construct.
Right. And Roger, what does this mean for the end user or the people who are investing in these types of funds?
Literally as fast as we could record a transaction on Aptos, and I'll let Mo give the details specifically about how lightning fast that is, a share of the Franklin on-chain money fund, government money fund, known as Benji, can move from one user to another. That is a massive upgrade from the existing ecosystem and how money might be able to move. And so it's super powerful. The utility of being able to do that means its application unfolds in a number of different ways, whether that's toward payment ecosystems or in other things where we're exploring in a pretty aggressive way money funds used as collateral inside of the traditional financial system.
Yeah, and this is a perfect tee up for you here, Mo. It's showing how the industry is now focusing on user experience, not necessarily, just evangelizing for the technology, but we're at that point where it's about user experience and creating tangible products on the institutional level around that.
It's an excellent point where, Roger, you kind of talked about M2. And when we look at how much money supply is in M2 as of recent numbers, we're talking about $129 trillion. That's massive. And if that money, to Roger's point, moves incredibly slowly, in fact, it's very inefficient in the way that if I'm sending money over to Roger, there are many folks that are pulling their piece out of that. And so that full money that I may want to send to Roger, whether he's someone that I care about and want to send money to for his birthday, to, let's say, Roger is a merchant and I want to make sure that he gets his full share of the pie as a small business owner. And so focusing on money too is, or M2 as a money movement system is really important for us at Aptos. We started off at Facebook when it was still called Facebook as it evolved to Meta. And we were building a network to actually make money move for 4 billion users. And so if you look at the amount of M2 that's out there today, and now having a network that was designed for 4 billion people to move money, we think the possibilities are endless. And so, think about that small merchant, think about peer-to-peer movements, or even think about new complex ways of forming transparent, trusted collateral. That's something that I think we can all get behind. These are real use cases that are coming to life today. And we're very excited to be working together with Franklin Templeton and Roger's team to make that a reality.
Yeah, and Mo, another sign of maturation in this space, which of course, digital assets is a relatively young space. We're seeing more M&A activity, right? And you recently announced an acquisition. Tell us about that, and then what your thoughts are around M&A within this space. What types of companies are being acquired? What does that signal to you in terms of where it's going forward?
It's an excellent point. And I think to answer this, we can kind of go back to the early days of cloud infrastructure, where there were thousands of companies trying to build cloud, and cloud was not as efficient as it is today. Today, if you look at the world, you could probably count on, one hand, who are those cloud companies. There was a lot of consolidation in that space, but that consolidation happened because it was next generation technology for cloud. We see a similar path forward for blockchains. We've seen the early days of the Gen 1 blockchains, the Gen 2 blockchains, and Aptos is designed to be a Gen 3 blockchain. And when we speak with other partners, they realize very quickly that they're excited about migrating their technology into the Aptos stack. We recently acquired HashPalette as one of those blockchains. They're based in Japan. They're a network that was very excited about the Japanese economy, the fourth world's largest economy out there. We all talk about the US dollar, Japanese yen trade. And we think that level of money movement should be happening on Aptos. HashPalette agreed to that. So we recently acquired HashPalette. That network will now be fully on Aptos. And that's going to make Aptos actually something even more powerful. We're going to become the exclusive wallet for the World Expo in 2025, where that wallet will be running all their asset transactions on the Aptos blockchain. We're very excited about continuing to not only move assets on chain, but also new forms of money as folks are transacting and visiting the World Expo in Osaka in 2025.
Yeah. And Mo, if you have any thoughts around what this means in terms of increased M&A activity within the blockchain space, what that signals to you going forward. And Roger, if you have any follow-up thoughts on that, I'd be curious to hear that as well.
Sure. I think, we're going to start to see more activity in acquisitions, most likely. And, we're obviously excited to be one of the first to pioneer into that category. It takes a very strong team and skills and capabilities internally within organizations to be able to do that. We built that inside of our team here at Aptos. And so we expect to, look at more opportunities as they continue to be strategic fits for Aptos at the infrastructure level.
Mm-hmm.
I do have something to add on that. I think really stepping back from the blockchains themselves and the massive opportunities that are unfolding in front of them, and being great business people like Mo is toward these opportunities for the chains. When we think about what happened in 2024 earlier with the massive, super successful launch of the Bitcoin ETFs, wow, talk about opening up the mind space for leaders at asset management to say, oh, there is something really happening here. We might have to have continued regulatory clarity unfold, whether it's in the US or even globally around this. But it wouldn't surprise me that outcome has repivoted a whole bunch of actors as we think about what regulatory changes may be coming in the next couple of years, that is having business leaders in this space, whether it's asset management or other financial services, thinking bigger about how do I anchor using these technologies for whatever the future of financial services looks like. I mean, I would expect that this was a big unlock for people to be thinking more strategically about possibilities rather than refraining from exploring opportunities because a regulatory construct and environment seem to be not so conducive in the US.
All right. And we'll leave it on a positive note, gentlemen. Appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.